Haps family, Ace here with another video. Want to welcome you no matter where you're at. If you're plugging in from Facebook Nation, want to welcome you. If you're plugging in from YouTube, thanks for being here. Again, Ace here, broadcasting live from Haps headquarters. Want to welcome every one of you. And you are listening to The World Is Yours, the Scarface theme. And this just strikes so many chords within me, because it just applies for what I really want to talk to everybody about today. And this topic, it really just goes into, let me adjust my volume signals here. Bear with me. This really goes into what I want to talk about today as to why people do not go after their dreams and goals. What is it that contains people from breaking out and being the best they can be? What is it that keeps people in this lane of just being average and mediocre? Is it a fear? What is it? Have you asked yourself that? Do you know individuals that have a lot of potential, but yet they don't live in it? They don't operate in it. And why is that? And maybe that's you. I remember for a while, I was stuck in this lane of not being able to break out and just do some of the things that I really wanted to do. And I think we need to think about that. I think we need to explore it, because there may be an entirely different reason as to what's holding people back. And it could simply be something called their mental conditioning. And what do I mean by that? What do I mean by mental conditioning? Well, I want you to think about this. From the time we were kids, we've always operated in a world where we've had to ask for everything. If we wanted ice cream, we had to ask for it. If we wanted to go across the street, we had to ask for it. If we wanted to go next door to our neighbor's house and play with our friend there, we had to ask for it. And what that did was it translated to a mindset of everything that I want to do, I have to ask. I have to ask my parents. I have to ask my teachers. I have to ask people at my church, adults, older family members, older siblings. And is it possible that because of that, we've just been conditioned to ask and get permission before we do anything? And during this time in our lives, first 15, 20, 25 years of your life of just asking for permission over and over and over and over again, think about how many times these same individuals that you had to ask permission of to do whatever, how many times did they pour into you that you can be anything, that you can go after your dreams and go after your goals? Think about that. Not too many times, if you're being really honest and really taking inventory of your past experiences, we don't celebrate each other enough. We don't speak truth into one another a lot. We live in a society where everything is isolated, and getting accolades and giving accolades just isn't something that we do with one another. It's actually been the opposite. People have been taught to hate on one another, and people have been taught to talk down on one another. So if you really look at that and see how things are positioned in society, we can see how people stay stuck in mediocrity. And if we take that a step further, that I need permission to do something, then what happens is the asking and the permission turns into then needing approval. And that approval is now needed for every aspect of my life. So I need people to approve my relationships. I need people to approve the job I'm at. I need people to approve everything. And that approval then turns into, I need your validation. I need your validation to make me feel good about anything that I'm doing. So you have an idea that I want to do this. I want to write a book. Well, I need to go back to those same people that I've been asking permission from all these years to get their insight and their permission to write this book. And when it comes back that, nah, I don't think that's a good idea, what do? We normally then take that as truth and don't write the book. When are we going to start validating ourselves? When are we going to start speaking truth to who we are? Very few people can do that. Very few people can boldly start speaking about themselves in a positive way and in a way that they feel good about themselves. It's very hard. I ask people all the time to say some good things about themselves and they can't do it. They can't do it. And that's where we are. And the other part to this is that by needing validation from the outside, we disempower ourselves from within. We weaken our ability to get in touch with our inner genius. We stifle the ability to even get creative because the wrong stimulation is there. We're so used to asking for permission, asking for validation. We've been told that you're no better than anyone else, so ignore your inner genius and ignore your inner qualities. Don't allow the world to see that part of you. And guys, that's no way to live. And as I look back and I look through the experiences in my life and how people have spoken into my life, it's been more unproductive than productive. And that's not to say that our loved ones and the people around us didn't mean us well. It's just the approach and it's just the technique. So the lesson today is, let's validate ourselves more and let's be on the forefront of validating each other more, speaking truth into what other people are doing, celebrating themselves, celebrating their success. And if we can do that, we can build confidence in one another and in ourselves at the same time. We got to start doing that. That's something that absolutely has to start. If not, we are going to continue down this road of mediocrity, and we're going to see the next generation and the generation after that fall into the same lanes, fall into the same traps of just being average. And that's not what we're here for. When we start to understand that we have come to this planet with unique abilities that no one else on the planet can quite deliver the way we deliver it, when we start to tap into that magic and tap into that seed, guys, the sky's the limit. And things like this, we start to feel it more. And I can remember just this particular scene in Scarface. I felt it. I literally felt the awesomeness of, you know what, I can really go out here and do, be, and have anything that I want. But the key is we have to unlock that feeling within. We have to unlock that vibrational frequency that holds so much that we can be given to the world. So you may be asking, well, Ace, how do we start? How do we start with bringing this about within ourselves? Well, I want you to understand that You can start by examining the very habits, routines, and rituals that you have that you are doing each and every day. You have to take time and invest in yourself. If I were to ask you how much time in a 24-hour span do you spend improving you? What does that look like? Are you reading? Are you writing? Are you meditating? Are you putting things within your mind that helps your mind stretch and expand? Are you spending time with yourself so that you can know the inner part of you? We've been using the outside world to trigger us, and that's what's made a lot of us reactionary beings versus tapping into our own inner spirit, our own soul, and allowing that seed within us to start to blossom. We've got to water our own souls. We have to take care of our mind, our body, and our spirit. We have to start speaking our truth. And so consider taking part of your day and using that part of the day to focus on you, to love up on you, to deliver the self-love to yourself that's needed. We all have an inner voice, and it's time for that voice to be heard. It's time for that voice to be the loudest voice that we hear. And so I just want to take this time and just really share that with you. And I'm going to be talking more on this because I really believe that as we evolve as a species, we evolve as a planet of human beings, that the key to ending suffering, the key to ending any collective issue that we have as a human species, it starts within. And it's no different than all of the creations that we see in the physical world. Guys, it started first in the mental. It started first in our mindset. And that goes for us. That goes for you. And that goes for me. I want to get to know your inner genius. I want you to get to know my inner genius. And if we can both walk on this planet being the genius that we were brought here to be, everything else takes care of itself. Everything else falls in place. So if you want your environment to change, we have to change the inner environment first. It all starts within. And if we can go within, we'll never be without. And I learned that from a quote in Conversations with God. It all starts within. So, hey guys, that's my time. Didn't want this to go longer than 15 minutes. Definitely subscribe if you found this helpful. Would love your support. And I'm going to be back soon with another video to help enhance your mind, body, and spirit. Love and respect. And I'll talk to you soon.